Good evening. Thanks for being here. Lisa, hi Lisa. Happy Thursday. Good morning. Marianne, good morning. Welcome. Debbie, nice to see you on Zoom this morning. Thanks for being here. Paul, good morning, Paul. Welcome. And let's see here. We have GFI, Jay McKinley. Good morning. Welcome. Forte, hi Forte. Nice to have you in class this morning. Kevin, good morning, Kevin. Thank you for joining us. And good morning. Nice to see you on Zoom. Chris O'Brien, good morning, Chris. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get started here in about 1 minute. Dottie, good morning, Dottie on Facebook. Nice to see Christine. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Jay, happy Thursday. Good morning. Welcome. And good morning. All right. Well, that we kicked off there, a little Zoom glitch, but I'm so glad to see so many of you still here. Thank you for waiting patiently. And we're going to continue on here. Let me get my technology working properly. Spotlight for everybody. And is that going to work or not? And spotlight. Okay. Well, just type into the chat that you, oh, perfect. All right, there we go. It's working, kind of working, sort of working. All right. If you're right-handed, take your right hand. If you're left-handed, take your left hand. Pat yourself on the back. Tell yourself, great job for being here this morning. It's great to be with you guys. Type into the chat. Today is a great day. Today is a day. Continuing on our work on Napoleon Hill's work, we're talking today about personal initiative. You from Hill's work here. Personal initiative, there's the same relationship to an individual that a self-starter bears to an automobile. It is the power that starts all action. It is the power that assures completion of anything one begins. Personal initiative is the inner power that starts all action. It's the domino spur the fact you're imagining into action and inspires you to finish what you start. Personal initiative is self-motivation. Today's employee usually is yesterday's employee. Today's employer is usually the employee who found out to be waiting for him at the end of the second mile. So I want you to think about the idea of thinking in combinations. We're up to principle number 6. So if you teach imagination, one of the in thinking grows. I invite you guys to read that chapter today or tomorrow. And in the chapter, Hill's talking about using imagination. Well, what if we take personal initiative and apply it to principle 1, definiteness of purpose? If we apply it to pleasing personality, what if you take personal initiative and you apply it to going the extra mile? So I want you to be thinking about, and not too long ago, there's a shared lawn. So my neighbor and I, in our front yard, we have a lawn. You guys probably, some of you may have had this in the past, you might have it now, where there's no fence between you and your neighbor. So if he's mowing his lawn, he can just like mow his lawn and not mow my part. He's not expected, of course, to mow my part, but one day he mowed his lawn and he mowed mine too. And I was like, that is so nice of my neighbor. So he was taking personal initiative in mowing my lawn. Now, let me give you a specific sales increase application. And I'm going to give you 3 examples from clients of mine. And the first one is superstar client Kevin. Kevin is a real estate agent. And when I started working with him, I would call him a solo agent. So he was an agent. He did everything on his own. Same way I started my company. I was the customer service person. I was the appointment setter. I was the accountant for my business. I did the sales. I did the coaching. It was just me. And then I began to build a team. So that's where Kevin was. He started, and he took personal initiative and he built a real estate team. And so now he's got, I'm not sure exactly all the players on his team, but he might have an appointment setter and he might have somebody doing the bookkeeping. And then he's got somebody over here doing the listings, and maybe he's a photographer to take photos of the properties. And so he took initiative and he built this team. Well, his production went from 20 deals a year to 80. And with that extra money, he was able to start investing in real estate. And now he makes a similar amount of money from his investment deals that he makes on the real estate side. So he essentially doubled his income. And a big part, there's different reasons how and why he was able to do that, but a big part was personal initiative. So brain will answer the question you ask it. So if you think about how can I apply personal initiative in my sales, in my social media? How can I apply personal initiative in my health? How can I apply a personal initiative in my well-being? And this genius mind that you have, okay, you're brilliant and you have a genius mind. So if you start asking yourself questions like that, your brain's going to start answering it and coming up with all this really cool stuff. And so from those new answers, you can take new and better action to improve the quality of your life. So this little conversation today about personal initiative can be a game changer for you. So let me tell you another story about a client, Mark Morris. Mark and his wife have a nonprofit in Peru. And at the time of this story, they were living in Peru. And the story happens when COVID hit. And it hit Peru really hard. And they didn't have the protective gear, the face masks and the gloves and the different things that, people needed to not get COVID. And so it was affecting the frontline medical people working at the hospitals or working in the clinics, and they didn't have the protective gear. And it was a really serious situation. And so they have a nonprofit over there in Peru that helps kids go to school. So they'll raise $50 and that'll send a kid to school for tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and send all these kids to school that wouldn't normally be able to go to school. So they're just doing this awesome work. And so when Mark and his wife found out that these frontline medical workers didn't have the equipment, and you'd think, well, the government should be providing this equipment. Well, for whatever reason, they weren't. I don't know why. So what Mark and his wife did, they used their nonprofit and their ability to fundraise, and they raised around $10,000, maybe a little more. And they went and bought protective equipment and gave it to the frontline medical workers. That wasn't their job. That wasn't the nonprofit kids. It's not buying medical equipment, to protect medical workers. Isn't that amazing that a couple of civilians did that? And I was so inspired by their story. All right, Casey Shaw. Casey's another one of my star clients. And one of the things that Casey did is she took personal initiative on her finances. So instead of being somebody who says, I'm going to put my head in the sand and not deal with it, she took personal initiative. Okay, what do I owe? Where are my investments? And she got a really clear picture of where all the things were in her life financially, so she could move her life forward financially. And maybe there's one of you listening right now, and you have not taken personal initiative on your personal finances. And so you could be like Casey. And the fact that you're here right now, that could be a life-changing conversation. So I want to tell you guys a quick story as we wrap up. And it's about this Netflix movie called The Farm. You might watch it. And keep the story short. This everyday pharmacy guy, he's just regular pharmacist, nothing, just regular guy, just like at any town USA pharmacist. The pharmacist that you go see is just like that guy. And his son was tragically killed in a drug deal gone bad. And he went to the cops and he says, we have to figure out who killed my son. And this was in a crime-ridden area of New Orleans. And they said, yeah, we don't have the resources to solve your son's murder. And he wasn't satisfied with that answer. Long story short, he solved the murder. He took personal initiative. This is the cops' responsibility. They didn't do it. He took initiative. He solved the murder. You watch the Netflix, you'll be blown away. Long story short, this guy, regular Anytown USA pharmacist, shut down Purdue Pharma. Purdue Pharma is the back on a multi-billion-dollar company. And a guy shut him down out of his personal initiative and his commitment. And you watch this movie, you won't even believe it. It'll blow your mind about what we're capable of as human beings when we get committed. So I didn't really do a great job on that particular story, but I did a good job of maybe inspiring you to go watch it. It's like a 4-part series, 3-part series, and it'll just blow your mind with what we're capable of as human beings. And you may watch this thing and just be so inspired by this Netflix movie. So we have, as we have had on previous calls, the Napoleon Hill video, so you can learn from Hill himself. And I just put it in the Zoom chat. And I'm not going to be able to put it on Facebook, but you guys can, if you're on Facebook right now, you can find it by going to YouTube and just do a YouTube search under Napoleon Hill Personal Initiative, and you can find the video. It's about 9 minutes long. If you're willing to watch that video in the next 24 hours, type the word yes in the chat. If you're willing to watch that video in the next 24 hours, type the word yes in the chat. And that'll allow you to spend 10 more minutes hearing from Hill about personal initiative. Now, the last thing I want to share with you, next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm doing a 3-part class on creating your 2023 plan. I want you guys all to do the class with me. It's free, and you can register at planningclass.com. And if you can't make it live, I'm going to send you the recordings. I'm not going to charge you for the recordings. You can do a live class, or you can do the recording. We have like 400 people registered. It's going to be awesome. So go to planningclass.com right now, register, and invite your friends to come and join. It's going to just be awesome. And that's happening next week. So today is Thursday. Let's all go out and produce today. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for dealing with my internet issues. I'm on the road and my internet wasn't working all that great. So we got through the call. I'm thrilled that you stayed with me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of these calls. You guys have an awesome Thursday. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.